Hello there everybody, my name is Supersonic Blah, and welcome back to Game 2 of the eloFishers versus Grubby Powerhouse. Unfortunately, Picks and Pans are a little bit ahead as it currently stands for things, but again, we've seen a bit of a run back here with the Acne and the Gibelonque, so I'm liking what I see there. Pickup of the Fenrir and Darji though. This is a very aggressive looking comp coming out from eloFishers. Meanwhile, we've seen a bit of a run back for the Grubby Powerhouse. They're going to run back the Poseidon, which isn't the worst idea. They did manage to get themselves a Bacchus though, which is a lot of early pressure here. And Odin could be very interesting with Romana and now Medusa. That is a pretty strong comp. But nope, I'm going to go Cucullin. I don't mind the Cucullin. Cucullin very, very strong at picking up the Totabaku. Fortunately, doesn't actually make any use of it, but that's not the point. He is very good at picking that up. So I'm expecting this to be an Odin jungle. I hope that this build goes somewhat better than the Fenrir build. I don't mind the Frostbound Hammer. Oh, sorry, the Blackthorn Hammer. Don't mind that. It was what was played around that. Now, this is interesting if we're going to see the Poseidon come out from... the Osiris come out from Sixer. Again, very strong option, very good if you want to follow up with auto attack based build like he did with the Bologna. So yeah, I'm going to see that swap. We're going to see that swap come through. Nikan is going to be playing the Odin by the looks of things, and we are going to see this play out as we go. Now it's interesting, we're going to see Daji forget Fisher. Now this is something that I kind of expected to see, but it's not the point. We do still have 28 seconds, so we can break this down just a little bit more. We saw the Camisots come out from the last game, and that is still very, very strong damage, and Camisots can start falling off when he starts losing his burst potential here. Daji, same sort of options, except when it comes to what she does after she starts dropping off on damage, is she just starts turning into Ares and pulling people in and making them have a bad time. So there's a high beads burner potential here. A couple in as well. Fenrir, Agni, Potato. He's just fantastic on Agni. Honestly, you can look at respect banning away his Agni if it gets to the second set of bans and they haven't picked it. But eloFishers almost always have looked at picking up Potato's God in the top 3. Toy on the Gibelonque, I've got no qualms with this whatsoever. It can still do a lot of work. I will be interested to see how Tarbak plays this lane though. He should look to try and push it aggressively, because that's kind of what he's trying to do. But with Osiris on the table to put it back into him, with the mitigation, or the early, like 16% physical mitigation early, that's a lot for him to try and burn through. Not to mention as well that if Sixer is going to be going for this Berserker Shield, he will have some fair amount of sustain as well. Now, Cucullin's Barbed Spear will be able to pull that back, but even so, it is going to do a lot to him. I'll be interested to see how well this goes. That being said though, other side of things, if you have a look, Bacchus, very strong early game now, 30 power and a stun. That's a lot to come out of the base with. Medusa, fairly good early game boxing potential, can pressure Gibelonque a fair bit as well. It really comes down to how well Bass does with this Fenrir as to how this lane goes. In my opinion, mid lane, it's the same matchup as we saw last time. Poseidon, if he can cripple Agni, he does get into an awkward situation, but it's very difficult right now, I felt, for Dragon Azd to really try and punish Potato in any real way. I want to check when we get in what Potato starts with. Should usually start with a 3. He may not have done so. He may have actually started with Flame Wave instead of Perfect Flames, but it could be interesting to see. The Odin pick, like I said, I don't mind this going tanky, but I want to see him build actual fucking protections this time, not just health, because that was a dumb thing and didn't mean that he could do anything. Like, I don't care if you go like, if you want to pick up this Odin and you get Blackthorn Hammer, then immediately go into a Void Shield, so you can still do some damage, but you can still be tanky. Then follow it up with, Genji's Guard, something like that, or something that gives you some CDR. Because I totally get the idea of you wanting cooldown, but I don't want to see this. I just have huge amounts of health build. It doesn't work. Really, really doesn't work. So hopefully we can see that happen. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back in game, coming up for eloFishers versus Grubby Powerhouse. It is currently 1-2, which I will actually, or it's 1-0 in this best of 3. So first to 3 will win. Actually, while I'm here, let me just, there we go. Just do that. Hold that all good and in place. Now I do want to see, does Agony actually have anything level 1? He may have, if he's being a naughty boy. He does have his Path of Flames, so again, Poseidon should also as well have something. He should be looking to get Tidal Surge, because it does do more damage. It doesn't necessarily do more damage, or it's what, 6 times that, so yeah, that does more damage, and it's on a lower cooldown, so you should start with a Tidal Surge on Poseidon. There's your friendly tip of the day for the video, if you want to watch that. But a lot of the time you will see them not actually look for anything. It's interesting though that we've seen before, we've seen eloFishers when they've gotten into these sort of games, they've all gone for this like 5-man roaming, trying to get some wards down. They may still do it in the finals, but we're not 100% certain yet. They're still just playing this a bit more like a ranked game, so it will be interesting to see just how things develop. Much faster clear on this Dargy as it currently stands. Odin unfortunately has to start with the lunge, which is just not as good a clear currently, so he's in a bit of an awkward spot. Agony though, definitely showing why his clear can be incredibly strong. There is a way that you can actually help your wave clear if you need to, and that's actually take a little bit of poke from the creeps. If you hit the enemy so that the minions aggro you instead of aggroing the wave, then you can sort of supplement a little bit lackluster clear with eating a little bit of your health, so that might be okay. However, when you have someone like eloFisher on the enemy team, you kind of can't really afford to do that. So, interesting shot. Actually, Bass picks up Wobanek for first blood. Sprint was popped as well. You know what, I'm actually going to go back and see what happened there. I want to follow this. I don't usually go back in these kind of things. I usually just keep rolling with it, but I want to know what the hell happened in duo lane. I mentioned before how this all kind of comes down to how Bass holds the lane, because they could be aggressive and poke out, but Medusa could be aggressive and poke out and get stunned, so I'm surprised. Oh, don't tell me you started with... Don't tell me you started with... Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, Grubson, no! Oh, no! Oh, that hurts! Oh, Grubson, no! Oh, no, he started with the 1, he accidentally put a point in it! So now there's no stun potential right now. Oh, that, excuse me while I just, that hurts. So that's what it is. Level 2 immediately, nothing he can do. Grubson screwed up the entire lane! Ooh, that hurts. That hurts, that really hurts. But now, moving on from the mistake, eventually he'll hit level 2, and it will still matter because you'd rather have the flop and the leap and the belch even. So he's Odin back away. Level 3 on this Agony. He's looking for the damage setup, gets the stun, forces the beads. Knockback is good, but minions are starting to do a lot of work in. eloFisher comes around the back for the basic. Aegis is good. Lunge isn't on the mark. Now Agony's just looking to try and follow him through. Will get the slow off as well from Trickster Spirit, but the dash comes up in time. Potato will manage to squeak his way out. Boss has made a rotation as well, so... Whoo boy. That was an important slow from eloFisher there. He got the Trickster Spirit and followed up with the horrible burns, which does come with the slow. Even if it was only a little bit, it was still important that he got it. Now though, oh, the disrespect from Potato, looking to bait him in. Meanwhile, Sixer solo Starback. Oh no, you didn't just bait yourself, did you, Potato? I think he may have very well baited himself. Barkas is coming around the corner. Does he have the flop or the belch? No, he's just going to beat him to head with a ukulele. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Bass picks up another kill. Grubson will secure Potato. Mid lanes get taken out by the supports. Both got pushed very low. Flop is met with the Unchained. The Sixer in that entire engagement was able to secure a kill onto Hukalane. That's big for him in this matchup. Keeping the aggression from Kukulin out and down is very, very important. Now, while he doesn't necessarily need a blue buff, the cooldown is still nice. He has now transformed. But with 2 people in lane and on the other side of it, he's just going to back up. He's not even going to really try and whack on his totem. In fact, actually he is. He's going to do a fair bit of damage to the totem. He might actually be able to just get it. He will. In the ironic situation of where he is great for taking the totem, but does not benefit from it at all. In fact, actually, we can see if you look, we can't see it on here, but he does actually end up with MP5 when you look at that. That's interesting. I didn't know that. It's that and that sort of things. So that's all good and fun on the bun. Boss again, looking to just be aggressive, keeping Robin out and away from the Powerhouse. Wasn't able to successfully invade it, but did manage to push him back just a little bit now. And we can see that Itori has just been on this tower line almost the entire time. He's now level 5. Medusa is around the corner. Doesn't have a ward and should know that he's around here. He will just pop back into lane now. So already a bit of a lead going the way of eloFishers. A much higher paced and faster paced game. It's definitely more of a lead now for the eloFishers as it has been. It's one of the bigger leads we've seen in the early games coming out from them. Sixer is a little bit low, but with a level lead and with the Berserker shield, he will be able to sustain himself up. Tarbek does have the Warrior's Blessing to try and help a little bit. Definitely try, but not really going to be able to achieve much here. Odin comes by just to make sure that they can actually get this totem right now, which is an interesting choice here. Could have made a rotation out already, go straight to mid lane. Chuchu should have had that almost entirely on his own, so I'm very surprised that we actually saw that come out as we did. Bass, looking for something. Can he find it though? I don't know. He's looking for it. Leap is off the mark. Gets the beads anyway. As the ult goes through. Red blue buff again. Has been invaded. And now this time Daji, or Getfisher, is just going to rotate. Mid-camps are in the way. But they're both stolen by Potato. That has to hurt. Bit of an awkward spot with the Agni Bomb. Potato seems to be a little bit early on some of these Agni Bombs, but with the CDR that he currently has, Agni Bomb isn't on too high of a cooldown, so he should all be fine. Nikan, interesting option here, has opted to go for the high boots, as we see Darkest of Nights and Boss just dumpster again in. Blink forward, does get the ult off, puts 2 in the cage. Flop is good, and the ult will secure it. Now though, Boss, who flopped in, just ends up eating the damage from a Kraken. Awkward situation. He wanted to try and save Itori's life. Honestly, at that point, I'm leaving Itori to die. I'm saying, hey, buddy, you had a good run. Bye. Because I don't think there was any real way of saving him there. He jumps in, gets himself the double stun. Like, that's great and all, but Dragon was rotating. Dragon was rotating there, and in that situation, he just ends up with a situation where 2 people get killed by Dragon Ads, which honestly would have been worse as this would have been a worse situation to find themselves in. Chuchu again does manage to secure the totem. Nothing really much is going to come from it. We've seen this happen a lot with the eloFishers. They've had a tendency to ward down on this this back camp here, and when they have, it's always been like, hey, let's just go get them. Let's just go get them real quick, really easy and efficiently. Now, going back to duo lane, interesting discrepancy between the 2 hunters. One has chosen to finish their stacking item, the other has actually chosen to finish boots. Now what's interesting is that not only have they both chosen to do opposite things with getting boots or their stacking item first, but actually they both kind of bought the opposite stacking item to what you'd think. Usually you'd see Medusa and go, yeah, I kind of want to Transcendence, I want to do a little more burst, be a little bit more powerful, but not that second. You see a little bit of an invade going on the right hand side. Daji tricks spirits in, Raven Shout is just getting decimated and destroyed through. Ult goes through, doesn't manage to get anyone in time. Daji ends up on the Powerhouse. Meanwhile though, Poseidon just gets taken down. No need for anyone up on the Powerhouse. Blinks away, and now it's Colin looking for anything. Spirit of Mortal Pain does go off, but everyone is fully disengaged. Pass jumps back in an awkward situation, thinking his team would look for something, but they can't. His bird bomb detonation damage is enough. Now invade onto the red buff. Robin is here. Waban is here. Doesn't manage to get anything though. An awkward spot. But going back to what I was talking about with the the stacking items. Medusa you usually see the Transcendence, and Itori you would usually want to see the late game Devourer's Gauntlets, but given the situation of the fact that Itori wants to be able to stay around more in these fights and just wants to do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible, and rely on his team to be able to peel for him, he is opting to look at the situation and say, you know what, I just want to do more damage. I want to burst you down harder. I've got my passive, which gives more power. I want to do more damage. And in that instance, right now, the Medusa is on the back foot saying, alright then, if you want a boxing trade with me, sure, you may hit harder, but I can hit for longer. And given the fact of how much burst comp there is around, that little bit of sustain may be able to prove dividends once they can get online. But still early days. Still very early days. 8 minutes in. And only a 1.1 thousand gold lead. The experience, though, is starting to wean in favour a little bit. About 11.5 lead for Sixer. And if he can start rotating and putting this pressure to good use, then he's going to be a very difficult task for anyone on Grubby Powerhouse to actually be able to deal with. You see Nikan has finished off again. He's gone for this option of the Blackthorn Hammer, which I don't mind again on Odin. It's a nice bit of health, but I need to see some power go along with it. Just gonna blink in. Two-man cage. Agni's got nowhere to go. Fenrir as well nowhere to go. Actually uses the ult for the protection, leaps away, and is just able to squeak on by. Now it's up to eloFisher to see what he's gonna do in response. We'll start trading out with Nikan, who is very tanky at this point with the amount of health he has. Flop onto eloFisher, forces the Pow-Lao. Does get a chain. One chain. Now it's on for the rotation. Who's else is going to be able to follow up? Sprint was forced. And Osiris still looking to try and chase. Chukalan has made a rotation. Is in that more warmongery form. But Darkest of Nights will dissuade everyone else from getting out of there. Very nice work coming out from Itori just to say, hey, you know what? Let's just chill. Let's not do anything right now. And now you actually see still looking for a fight. Salmon Leap wasn't good enough. The stun still comes through. He's looking to do a lot of damage into Tarbek, but the flop from the Barkers, looking to put some good damage in. The Lord of the Afterlife does come through, but there are 3 people over this side. eloFishers, no one's here to be able to respond, but Sixer's getting out. He could just walk through the wall! Oh, that hurts so much! Fractured means he's able to just walk through the wall, forces the ult, but Grubson will manage to secure it in the end. Very low is Odin, but the health shield is good enough. Now Potatoes looking to just try and do what he can into Choo Choo. Does get a good chunk of damage. No one else on the team is there. Tarbek picks it up. Now it's on the eloFisher who's going in one by one. Choo Choo does finally fall as Bass has made the rotation as well. Looking to try and pick him up. Does he have the movement speed to be able to do it? He doesn't. He doesn't have it. All Father passive is good enough. Now Poseidon's following up. eloFisher will secure it. What is going on here? This is just a clown fiesta. Oh no. Oh, you hate to see that. eloFisher now abusing and punishing Dragonats for overly aggressively using his ult. I don't know what the hell happened there, but both teams decided, hey, yeah, let's just keep fighting. And it's an awkward situation because, all in all, it kind of comes out in favor of Grubby Powerhouse. They've shortened the gold distance. Mid tower is now pushed out pretty damn hard. Agni didn't get anything. Potato has had a phenomenally different game, a drastically different game to what he had in the first one. 0-3 and 4 right now compared to Dragonads. I must say, I'm much more happy with this pick coming on from Nikan now. Like, he can play this still aggressively, he can still use the blink, he's still being able to set up utility and CC, and no one has a Phantom right now. Just no one has a Phantom. And the only person who can get out of this right now, you've got Daji who can get out with Trickster Spirit, or just get up in the Pow-Lao. Sixer if he uses Lord of the Afterlife, or if he just walks out with Fracture, with his Fracture passive. And Bus, who can either Unchained out or Brutalize out. The damage dealers can't get out. It's Bus now. Does go ahead and try to chase out Wabanek. Little bit of damage, but a little bit of presence shown, not too much. As again, it all seems to be focused around this mid lane. Flop off the mark, as was the Belch. Now onto the backside, Daji just poking the damage because he knows that, hey, Grubson has nothing to stop me doing this, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But Bomb over the wall was already there. Now he's gonna get stunned out by the tether. Just eat a little bit of poke. And that's kind of what the Osiris is doing now. He is making a rotation, and it looks like eloFishers is starting to set up for this Gold Fury. Wabanek, not really in a position to be able to do anything. Does have ult. The Bast will force the ult. It doesn't actually manage to accomplish anything. Dark's Demise now comes through. Medusa gets stunned by it. But the team will run out of time. Trickster Spirit comes through, and it's good. Powerhouse goes up. Looking to try and put some damage, but Fenrir will fall in trade for Gold Fury. 1 for 1. His beads were forced as well. Potato now looking to try and put some damage to the backside. Round the back though, look who's coming over. It's Smash. Time to try and throw out the Intoxicate. It's good, but it's not good enough. Itori off the follow-up stun from Potato sets up for another kill. 3 for 1 and a Gold Fury. I mean, if you're unsure as to whether or not that was it was worth it. It was 100% worth it. If your support dies when you guys get Gold Fury, oh dear, what a shame. So sad, so mad. Do it again. Like, straight up, the support dying in that situation is totally fine. They got Blink, they got the Blink ult from Odin. They got the ult from Poseidon as well. Getfisher was lucky enough to be able to actually get up onto the Powerhouse as well. Forced Poseidon beads. It's just absolutely fantastic. Slightly sparse ward coverage though. But thankfully, Potato, with the stun, with those Noxious Fumes, was able to just keep Grubson off balance enough. And I do kind of like the choice that he's actually gone for here. He's gone for a Void Stone right now. Honestly, he kind of does need to be a guy who does damage for the team. And I don't mind him picking this up. In terms of magical damage, there's only one anyway. So he doesn't have to worry a huge amount in terms of what he's going to do. He's only got the Potato to worry about. And he can just get this. Maybe get an Oni Hunters if he really feels the need for it. Other than that, you don't have to worry too much about it. I want to see a Jade Emperor's here. I want to see a Jade Emperor's crown picked up to deal with some of these warriors on the front line. Help with that side of things. I want to see some heavy physical defense. I want to see Nikan get a Void Shield just to try and help with it. As he actually gets picked up. He got caught out of guard. Potato dumpsters him. He was waiting around the back to try and see if he could set something up, but he can't do it. Now, the rest of the team's just going to jump forward. Osiris needs a lot of damage, but he's not good enough. Poseidon, though, gets chained as 4 people got chained there. Getfisher pulls almost everyone back in. Now, Kukan looking very low on the front side of things. This tower won't be lasting much longer. Bast pushing everyone else back. Getfisher picks up one. Itori picks up the other one. It's a full deicide for the team. They are, though, a little bit too low to try and get this tower, and instead, they'll let minions do it. Minions should be good enough to get this, and they will indeed get mid-tower. And another huge chunk as we go up to 4.9k, 5,000 gold lead. You know exactly where this team's heading for. You know exactly what they've got in their inventory. It's a bunch of sentry wards. They're looking to set up on a fire giant fight. Or pyromancer. More likely pyromancer, but you know you want to see it on a fire giant here. You know you want to see it on fire giant. That being said, I don't mind the call. Just get both of them. Get both of them. Gold Fury that's going to spawn is going to be Oni. They could look to get the Oni Fury first, and then just say, hey guys, let's do a fire giant dance so that we can push even harder, get some more minion waves going through. Could be something that they look to try and do. It looks like first they want to try and get some more of these towers down, just to really try and put Grubby Powerhouse in a very bad position. Bast doing a fantastic job right now of just denying entry for Tarbek and Grubs and Nikan at this point. They're actually going to look to try and push for a tier 2 tower here. They haven't seen any resistance so far, so they can just keep pelting away at it, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Agni is here now. The rotation is coming through from Grubby Powerhouse. So they want to try and do this quickly. Odin Cage is good, but no one's really paying attention to it. Spirit of Mortal Pain does come through, but no one else cares. Big Intoxicate, not good enough. Darkest of Nights, Agni gets pushed very low, but Bacchus is the one who ends up falling. Choo-Choo is pulled back in. Fenrir looking to try and put some damage on the tower. Tarbek will fall, and the 2-man Agni stun. Dragon goes down. Bast caught in the whirlpool though. Blink forward by Getfisher. Can he secure it in time? He will with the Trickster Spirit. Very nice work. Waban now looking to just try and push. Forces Sixer to actually teleport. He'll make sure that he doesn't trade anything out. And now the team should be going, alright guys, guess what? Back up, buy up, set up for Fire Giant. Or back up, buy up, set up for Gold Fury. 17 minutes in, this team is thundering down these lanes. Thundering. Absolutely thundering. I'm very much surprised that Grubson hasn't actually opted to go for a Jade Emperor crown here. It would do fantastic amounts for him, just in regards to it's reducing physical power by 30. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but when you look at Sixer, who has currently got 45 power, that's almost all of his power gone. That's actually 66% of his power. 200, you know, that's like 15% of his power. That's still good. Bus, it's all of his power. He's not building it anyway. 180 powers. Ooh, what happened there? Awkward situation. Flicking through some damage. Choo-Choo getting chased down. Odin not able to follow it through, but getting that Jade Emperors will just take the edge off a lot of what's happening right now. It's like a sixth of the power it already has. It's still really good just to have that. It's also physical protection, which, surprisingly enough, he kind of needs. He's already got the sovereignty for the team. Wobnek going for a very interesting option here of actually going for some crit. He's gone for the Wind Demon as the only Gold Fury goes down to the eloFishers. This is going to make a Fire Giant dance a little bit more important now as we see one kill go in the way of GetFisher. He's just chasing down the second kill, goes for the ult, forces the shell. Nothing that can really be done here. Forces Intoxicate as well. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is just barreling down mid lane. They're going to look to try and push out this tier 2. Big damage or big CC from the Choo-Choo, but it's not good enough. He's just getting jumped on every single time. It's just going to sit in the cage. He doesn't even care at this point. Dragonance has not had a fun game right now, and it's just been off with these ults. It's cost him and the team a lot. Oh no, slowed. A little bit of damage, but mostly looking to try and get this down. Flop was a bad call. Wasn't under tower. Everyone's in a bad spot. Daji forced to beat. Gets out of things. Boss cancels Brutalize and jumps away from the ult. Really good reaction times coming out from eloFishers right now. Very nice work. Another tier 2 tower falls, and 12,000 gold difference now stands for what Grubby Powerhouse have to look up to. Not to mention again, just the level lead. 5 level lead in the jungle, 2 level lead in the ADC, 3 in support, 3 in solo, and still 1 level lead in mid. Even though Potato was down 0-3 at the beginning of the game, he's now 4-3. 13. He has been fantastic in his later stages. He's played these very, very well. And now we can see even Bass is now starting to work on that low nose mask. He is going to become a very tanky pupper. It's also kind of sad though that both Tarbek and Nikan both built into these Hide of the Urchins because they were looking to try and be early aggressors. And to be fair, at the time they kind of could look to try and turn it around, but now, well, it's may as well just be a piece of cloth. It's not doing enough for them. It's certainly not anywhere near the levels of protections that they need. I do like the call for getting an Emperor's Armor. They needed someone to be able to pick it up. But now though, Grubson, I don't know what you're going to pick up right now. I don't want to see you grab a Mystical Mail. So he is going to end up picking up the Guardian Mail in the end. It will help a little bit, but like I said, I wanted to see that be a Jade Emperor's Crown. He has enough health now. I need to just see high physical protections at this point. Hell, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of mitigation as well. Meanwhile, jumping to the backside, forces Medusa's beat. GetFisher blows up Poseidon, is able to get up into the air in time, putting damage onto Medusa. This should be a second kill for him. Forces the Aegis, can't get enough off. 1 auto is all that matters. Meanwhile, on the front side of things, everyone else has just fallen. Nikan, the only one who's up, and eloFishers march into the base, looking to just end this game, and that is exactly what they're going to do. Not first before making Nikan regret every decision he ever made, trying to tarnish GetFisher with his 11-0-11 scoreline. Very nice work coming out from the eloFishers, once again showing why they should be the team that came through with the first seed. Just dominant performance, and it has kind of been mostly out of GetFisher and Potato. Even when Potato has fallen behind, GetFisher has been consistently and effectively strong on these gods. I've seen him play Alquan, I've seen him play Nemesis, we've now seen him play Daji and Camazotz. This guy can switch it up, this guy can play ahead. The thing, and he can get his team ahead. The only thing that I haven't ever seen him do is play from a behind stance in the situation. And that's always a point that I make. It's great. You can play from ahead. Can you play from behind? The argument is, well, if I never get behind, then I don't have to. But it's still an important thing on the off chance. Because I saw it happen with the Moxies, with Floricu. When Floricu plays from ahead, he's fantastic. If he has a bad game, yeah, it's very difficult for him to actually try and get anywhere. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do it for this video. I will try and see if I can grab anything from the Moxies versus Wine and Dine, which is the other semi-finals game that's going. As it currently stands, Moxies are down 1 game to Wine and Dine. But if not, ladies and gentlemen, then I will see you in the finals, where eloFishers will face off against either the Moxies or Wine and Dine. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Supersonic Blood. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and favourite for more, and to share the stuff so people know that it exists. You guys have been a fantastic audience, and I shall see you all next time.